Hey everybody, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. Sorry about the breeze out here, but we've got another important one. Should you be buying a petrol or a diesel, and why? Do you choose to look after the environment or people's health, including your own? Well, as far as I know, and I'm a vehicle technician, not a scientist, but as far as I know, this is the way it works. Diesels produce nitrogen oxides and particulates. Those particulates, not good for us to breathe in, and that will lead to contributing to cancer, heart attack and stroke, like a number of other things. In another video I might even talk about a few health things completely off topic, but might just get you thinking and let you know where I'm at. So if you want to hear that stuff, subscribe, turn the bell on, and if you don't, you can press next. Anyway, the diesel is bad for people, okay? As far as I know, the petrol is the one that's bad for more for the environment, the more greenhouse gases type thing. But as far as I know, the petrol isn't as bad for people, the petrol engine. So it would seem obvious to me that those things Toyota have been making for decades, hybrids they're called, maybe the early ones weren't as good as the current ones, but I'll tell you what, the current ones are bloody awesome, okay? So we've got a hybrid Corolla. Wife was telling me she was driving at work, oh, this is great, this isn't great. You know, we had a Camry, you know, petrol engine, of course, nice and reliable. I've always loved petrol engines, so understand that first. I definitely prefer petrol engines. To me, they're kind of a bit more simple to maintain, sometimes more efficient overall, but in my opinion, and I reckon it's a fact, but we'll just call it my opinion to save argument. If you're doing a lot of four-wheel drive tracks, low range work up and down steep hills, the diesel's, for a fact, an advantage. Maybe you don't need it, you can get away with a petrol, so it all depends how much you do. Now, same thing if you're travelling the Australian outback. By the way, we're just on the beach here at Coolum. Not the best day, a little bit cloudy, a bit breezy, whatever, but not too bad. But if you're travelling the Australian outback, like we're just completing a bit of a lap around Australia, we've been on a few remote tracks and stuff like that. Not so much this trip as what we've done in the last decade, but that's where you need the fuel economy of the diesel and the fuel tank capacity. You don't want to be having to carry unleaded petrol in the vehicle or on the roof, right? So that's where, for diesels, for me, it's for four-wheel drives, okay? Otherwise, the petrol, the V6 is a great option. If you don't do a lot of kilometres a year, say 10,000 k's or less, maybe the V6, like the 1GR, would have been the best option for you. If you don't go off-road, then having a diesel or having a Prado is certainly not the best option for you. You're going to invest more money, you're going to pay more in maintenance, it's going to cost more to run. It's just crazy. So maybe you've brought the wrong car or you're about to purchase the wrong vehicle. As already said in the last video, I wouldn't combine diesel technology, the problems with the DPFs, EGRs, AdBlues, whatever it is, and some batteries, hybrid, way too much going on under the bonnet. You're going to pay a lot of money for it. You're going to have some problems with it. Maybe you got warranty, but it's going to mean it's unreliable, so you're not really using it for water. If you're going to risk it and take that out in the middle of nowhere, you know, good luck finding the dealership that can work on it at the moment when it happens on your holiday. So it's about reliability, so something to think about. I would certainly be waiting for good petrol hybrid options, and we don't need a V6 petrol in a hybrid, because what people have got to understand is a hybrid is a hybrid, and what happens now, under low load conditions, it runs around its electric engine. It's like an EV. It is called an EV actually, but it doesn't need to be charged. It's got a really efficient petrol engine, which is like a generator, and that's what recharges the engine. Of course, deceleration as well, regenerative braking, right? And then when you really put your foot down, what happens is the engine, the electric motor using the battery and the petrol engine combines to give you maximum power and torque. And that's where they go really well. You get really good efficiency. You don't need as big fuel tank. It's a petrol, so they're really efficient. So as I was saying, wife tells me, oh, you know, gets about 4 litres per 100 k's. So we get one. I say, you keep telling me how good they are, I'll get one, all right? So we've done that. It's only done probably 10,000 k's, but I'm regularly hearing, oh, that trip was only 2.7 litres per 100 k's, right? We hear from other people that have got them we hear from other people that have got them, and 1400 k's on a tank, 1400 kilometers. I think it's about a 50 litre tank. And you know when it's a 50 litre tank, you only usually put 40, 45 when it's empty, you know, because they give you that, you know, extra on the gauge that, you know, it's just, yeah, you've got a fair bit left usually. Point is, it's really efficient. If you want to help out, you're probably better off buying something like a Corolla, a Camry, a RAV4, or a Kluger. A Kluger is a awesome Australian touring machine, you know. If you want to go around Australia, and even you're going to go on a few dirt roads here and there, not harder four-wheel drive tracks where you necessarily need a proper four-wheel drive, then consider the Kluger. And you can even still travel in a Camry. I mean, you know, if you've got a family of four and you're staying at hotels or caravan parks, that sort of thing, you can still get a cabin pretty much most places all the way up the east coast. Into Queensland, you can get cabins ranging anything from 100 to about 160 bucks for a cabin where you can fit a family of four, just giving you some averages, right? So if you're thinking about that caravan thing, well, maybe it's not the best option unless you're retiring living in it, then of course it could be a good option. So each to their own on that. But I just wanted to point out a little video pointing out a bit of the difference with emissions and health between petrols and diesels, and how the diesel and the electric, you know, the hybrid together, I think it's I think you're being played, to be quite honest. I'll sell you those and that'll change. I mean, there's no reason to have a diesel hybrid. It's like, to be quite honest, think about it. Have we even heard of that before? The whole Toyota range is petrol hybrid. Why would you have a diesel hybrid? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, that vehicle looks a lot like an FJ, so hopefully it turns out to be the new FJ, right? And good luck. And hopefully the Prado, they do something else, or like the Patrol. I remember the Y62, pretty ugly, but you know, they changed it up a bit over the years. Not that I'm taking a lot of notice, other than it's probably a decent vehicle. It's made in Japan and it's a petrol engine, so if you're towing a caravan, that's probably the one. But you've got to be careful with them because they got some technology on them as well. And if you come down the beach here and you go jumping things and hit washouts, you can bust up that suspension, you know, those things on top. Anyway, you need to get on your Patrol export forums. I'll tell you about that, because that's not me. I'll just tell you a few things that I hear that happen to people, right? Toyota's still the most reliable. We don't know what's going to happen with a diesel hybrid. We know what happens with the petrol hybrids. They're awesome. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to stick with 1KD's last of the best. I'm still hunting for a nice 1GR V6, either Prado or Hilux, for our vehicle collection. We use them either on the farm, we use them on the tracks a lot. We use them touring Australia, both in Victoria and around the country, and we select the right vehicle for that trip at the time. If we're going down the shops, if we're going to school and back, we take the Corolla hybrid, right? So yeah, we're paying some regos and insurances, but you can get some good deals when you got them all with one company. They know you can only drive one at a time, that sort of thing. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so in closing here, we're just going to go up the creek here and get off the beach slowly. But I was going to try and give you a bit of view while we did that. That's, you know, that's cool, and right, you know, that's where we come on the beach up there. Hey, if you happen to be down here, I've got to tell you about a really good restaurant for those people that stayed till the end. But I'm just going to start heading off the beach. If I can go this way on the hard sand, it'd be good, and we'll just get off in that car park there. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're a tourer, a traveller, you need a four-wheel drive, get a four-wheel drive. Think about it really carefully, whether an older one suits better, so you can go through that bush and not worry about pinstripes. So that, you know, this sort of thing, whether it's the petrol, whether it's the diesel, whatever, you know, you've really got to do your research. It doesn't really bother me what you buy. Some people think, you know, it's about business. I keep mentioning that in videos here and there. Hopefully I don't fall off the edge here. Bit of fun, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, just pick the right vehicle for you. And if you're not going off-road, just have a look at those Klugers and RAV4s and that sort of thing, because it could be what suits your needs better. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to be more reliable. It's going to be nicer to drive. I love petrol engines. For those people who think I'm just a diesel lover, I love petrol engines. I only like diesels in four-wheel drives, and I only like people that own four-wheel drives that use them. Just joking, of course, but do you know what I mean? That would make sense, wouldn't it? Only own a four-wheel drive with a diesel if you use it. If you don't use it, then get some other vehicle with a petrol engine. I love the Klugers, by the way, and other good mechanics, they love Klugers too. That's the family car. If you got, you know, well, even 2, but 3 or, you know, kids, whatever the case may be, if you didn't learn at 2 or 3, then, you know, you're a bit of a slow learner, aren't you? Now, kids are awesome, mate. We'd all love to have 10 kids, wouldn't we? But, you know, it can be a bit hard for different reasons. Anyway, let's just wrap this one up by saying I'm going to head over to the restaurant and tell you about that, because the owner, he's got a Prado, he's awesome. The food is bloody awesome. And it's in an awesome location that normally looks better than this. So let's get over and get up there and have a look. And it's called the Hot Chili Bean Thai Cafe. Come in and see Brendan. Here he is right here. Hey. And come and say Anthony sent you and have a good feed. You can guarantee consistency because his better half is always doing the cooking.